There's a lot of resistance that is going on, that's taking place. And you may feel the resistance, and you may think, what am I feeling? Well, that's exactly what you're feeling. There is a resistance. There's a great push being made forward, and there is a great big wall of defense being put up to stop the push forward. It's very heavy in the air tonight. It's extremely heavy. There's a lot of oppositional forces, and it will continue to grow as the hours, days, weeks, and months keep coming. It's going to grow. The resistance is the great big push. It's a great big push by the light forces to go forward. And there's a lot of resistance by the dark forces. If you want to speak of it from a spiritual point of view, that's exactly what's happening. It is as if the status quo wants to stay exactly how it was. And if you have learned anything, if we have learned anything, nothing stays the same. Change has been a constant in our lives, and we have experienced change in so many ways that we cannot even fathom. We would never even fathom the change that we experienced throughout these passing years, throughout these passing days for some. And it's not over yet. It's got a ways to go, at least another year. Another year. And who knows what could happen in another year. I do remember that we were supposed to have a catastrophic mutating event that was going to strike the earth in 2 years, and that was by the World Economic Forum in February of 2023. And they likened it to a virus that mutated, like a computer virus that can keep mutating and mutating, and like a real virus or something, a catastrophic mutating event. That means it's ever changing, ever evolving. And we are going to see it. We are seeing it right now. And there is a lot of resistance that is happening as a result. There will be some people who will not make it through this catastrophic mutating event. And I'm feeling within my being that there are some surprises that are hidden from a lot of people. I don't know what they are right now, but I can feel it in my spirit. There's a lot of surprising events that are going to occur, not just here in the United States, but in other parts of the world. And it's going to catch people off guard. It is. It may even catch some of us off guard because we may not have even thought it could even possibly happen, whatever's coming. And it is one of those things of, there's no way you could have even guessed it was coming. And if you could have guessed it was coming, it's coming in a way that you would not have thought. And it's going to have widespread ramifications. It is. But you've got the strength you need on the inside. You truly do. What's happening is, it's like it's not of this world, but it's in this world, and we're feeling it. And a lot of people would say, well, I'm not of this world. I don't belong here. I want to go back home. And perhaps that's true. A lot of us don't belong here, and we want to go back home. But it's not our time yet. It's not. It's not my time, and it's not your time, but we've got to prepare ourselves spiritually. It's very, very important to prepare yourself spiritually on the inside to face what's coming, because If they tell you it's going to be a catastrophic mutating event, there is going to be a catastrophic mutating event. And I'm not sure they can control it. If it mutates without human beings controlling the outcome, that's it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. You know, even our scientists, they can prepare and prepare and prepare in military for certain types of scenarios, but what happens when a scenario happens and the military never even thought about that? It never was even put into the equation at all. The what if, the unknown variable. And it's called an unknown variable because it is very unknown. And it's one of those things that it wouldn't even make it. In 1,000 years, you could not even hypothesize because it's so rare. We're liable to see that rare thing that they're not even thinking about happening because they think it's totally impossible. You're liable to see the possible happening with the impossible. We've got to prepare ourselves, and only thing I can say and keep emphasizing is you got to prepare yourself on the inside spiritually. You've got to get strong enough for what's coming. It's already on its way, and if you remember that they were tracking this black hole that was ripping and tearing its way through space, remember? And they described it like an invisible monster ripping and tearing its way through space. And it had a trail of lights behind it. And they said it got kicked out of its host galaxy because it had a little tussle with the two other giants in it. But at the neutrino laboratory, the neutrino lab, I think it's in the Arctic or something, they were tracking something that was headed straight toward Earth. Now, whatever that is, I think it does have something to do with that supermassive black hole that they were talking about, that invisible monster. And I don't know why they would describe it as a monster unless it was enormous and something they wasn't expecting to see, and so they don't even know how to explain it. So the energy in the air, there is a resistance, a big wall of resistance being put up, but there is a force that is literally going forward, and that big wall of resistance is growing. But it seems as if you were to think of it as a hydraulic jack that it's starting from the bottom, and there's such a heavy weight that it has got to get up off the ground. And that hydraulic jack, as you just keep moving the handle and handle, even though it's small, there's so much invisible force behind it that it is able to lift up that weight completely off the ground and move it out of the way. That's what I would liken this to, or compare it to, the force that is out there. A wall of resistance. It's not going to be able to resist because we're working with invisible powers. The unseen is occurring right now, and this wall of resistance that is being put up is no match against the force that is pushing forward and pushing upward. It's an invisible force behind the physical force, if that makes sense. It's just like a car jack. I like mechanics. You can see a car jack and you can figure out the mechanics of it, but you can't really see the invisible force that is able to lift up and move up out of the way. There is an invisible force at work here. It's pushing back against the wall of the resistance. It's going to push it all the way out of the way. It is, and if it has to lift it up, it's going to lift it up, and they're not going to be able, no matter how heavy that wall of resistance gets, it's not going to be able to stop the push forward and the push upward. Just pushing it up and out of the way. That's the energy that I'm feeling in the air tonight. It is. So I hope this is recording, because I feel this is a message that needs to get out. And with that being said, thank you for taking the time to listen. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And good night.